All right, what an incredible lick this is. I love every single note that he plays over it. It grooves really hard, it's got some really tasteful note choices, and it has some really cool two-note stuff that he does over the 5 chord. So it pretty much has everything that I love in one lick. And he's doing this over body and soul, over the part where we do that 2-5-1-2 B flat minor. And we're going to start on the 11th fret of our first string, a pointer finger on E flat. And that note is a little pickup. It's on the of 4. So 4E and right at the tail end of the 16th note. And then after that, we put our pinky on D flat on the second string. So that D flat is actually B1 of the C minor 7 flat 5 chord. Then pointer finger is going to play D on the first string. And then pointer does E flat. And then ring finger on F, and we hammer on to G flat with our pinky. So that's what we got so far over the C minor 7 flat 5 chord. And then after that, we go down the 11th fret on the first, second, and third string. So that's actually E flat minor arpeggio. E flat, B flat, G flat. So, all right. So now what is going on over that, if we look at that in relation to the C minor 7 flat 5 chord, we start on the flatted third, right on that pickup note. And then right here, that's interesting right there. So it looks like he's going just chromatically from the flat 9, natural 9, flat 3, and then he goes to the 4. So there's a little chromaticism at the very beginning of the line, starting actually on the flat 9 of the minor 7 flat 5 chord. Now right here, if we look at this, if you look at those notes just on their own, it just looks like an E flat minor add 9 arpeggio, right? If you look at those notes, right, because it's an E flat minor arpeggio. When we do this, right, the F would be the 9. And that's a very common thing to do over minor 7 flat 5. So in this case, we're doing C minor 7 flat 5. So you can go up a minor third and play a minor add 9 arpeggio. And that has a grouping of notes that sounds nice over C minor 7 flat 5. Another thing that you can do is just go up a minor third and think Dorian or melodic minor, which is what a lot of people do as well. But in the terms of analyzing this little piece of the lick, it looks like he's doing that minor 9 arpeggio, the E flat minor 9 over C minor 7 flat 5. So all right, now here's the part that I think really makes it groove just so hard. It's kind of hard on guitar too. It's one of those kind of sweepy pianistic things where they're doing like the quick, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a piano thing that we hear a lot of people do where they quickly go from one note back to another one. I don't know what you would call that. Piano sweep? I don't know. And now right here, what we're going to do, we put our pointer finger on F on the third string. It's hard to do slow. Pointer finger on F. Then our middle finger is going to play B flat on the second string. And we're going to go like this. We pick the F note with a downstroke. Then we do an upstroke on the B flat. And then another upstroke to the F. So it's like a really quick, just 2-string sweep. So down, up, up. And then after that, you slide down a fret from the F to E natural. And then after you hit that, you slide down to that E, hammer on and pull back off from F to E again with your middle finger. And then slide down another fret to E flat. So what that is, what's going on right there in terms, we're still over the C minor 7 flat 5 chord. He's starting on the 4 and the flat 7. And he does this just kind of a little chromatic all the way down to the E flat. So from the 4 down to the flat 3. Now, one of the things that's cool about that when you start doing that sort of chromaticism, if you look at these notes just and take the C minor 7 flat 5 out of the equation, it really just looks like B flat blues, right? So you could say that maybe he's thinking more B flat blues. Obviously, I don't know exactly what he was thinking over it, but those are two ways of approaching that lick right there. And then, so up to there we have this. All right, now I love this. What we do after that, after we land on that E flat with our pointer finger, our middle finger is going to play G flat on the on the fifth string, pull off to F with your pointer, and then move your pointer up to G flat, where you're going to pick it. So it's pick the first note, pull off, then move your pointer finger up and pick the note again, the G flat. So up to there we have, I'm sorry. All right, and now at this point we go to the F7 chord, and we have these really nice 2-note groupings that are going on here. So the reason why I use my pointer finger when I go back to the G flat is because we're going to leave that finger there, and we're actually going to jump up to the major 7. So for the major 7 from G flat. So pointer finger on G flat, and then your middle finger is going to play F on the 3rd string. And I'm going to use my pick and fingers. I'm going to play both of those notes at the same time. Pick on the 5th string, middle finger on the 3rd string. So we have that. And then he does this second set of 2 notes. So after that, I put my ring finger on the 11th fret of the 4th string, which is the D flat note, and then pointer's going to play E flat on the 3rd string, and I'm still doing pick and fingers. So that's a really cool set of two sets of 2 different notes. So if we look at those notes in relation to F7, we have the flat 9 in the root, which is nice, gives us that, altered sound with the flat 9. And then this right here is the sharp 5 and the flatted 7, so another set of kind of altered sounding tones. So we have interval-wise, he does a major 7 to a major 2nd. So I love that movement. All right, and then we continue that. This one changes up a bit. So now I'm going to put my middle finger on E flat on the 3rd string, and then my ring finger goes to B on the 4th string. And this one, I do it with the fingers again. And then I keep the middle finger down, and I take my ring finger off and put my pointer finger down on B flat. And I pick that note. So that one's interesting because if you look at that in relation to F7, we have the flatted 7th on top, and then these 2 moving notes, we have the flatted 5th and then the 4. So maybe he was just doing some sort of descent down to get to the 3rd eventually. Right, because we have... Alright, so it has kind of like a sus sort of sound, but then after that, he gets down to the A note. So I would think that he's maybe just doing a little chromatic descent to the chromatic descending line to the A, right? So, sorry. Then right here, I put my ring finger on A on the 4th string and my middle finger on D flat on the 3rd string. All right, and then pointer finger jumps down to G flat on the 4th string, middle finger goes to C. Still doing pick and fingers for all of these. So interval-wise there, we have the 3rd and the sharp 5, and then the flat 9 and the natural 5. All right, so it's a great descending line we have. All right, and then he finishes it off with this little triplet. So right there, what we do is our pointer finger is going to play, we're going to pick A flat on the 6th string, hammer on your middle to A natural, and then I'm doing this little, it's kind of like an F7 flat 9 without the 7. So because we have the 3rd in the bass with A, and then put your pointer finger on G flat on the 4th string, ring finger on C on the 3rd string, and pinky on F on the 2nd string. And then the way I'm doing that with the right hand, I'm doing my pick on the 4th string, and then my middle and ring on the 3rd and 2nd string. And then just pick E flat on the 2nd string with your pointer finger. And then he resolves it to the B flat minor with just this, upper 3 notes of a minor 7 chord. So F on the 4th string, A flat on the 3rd string, then middle finger on D flat on the 2nd string. So that's 5, flat 7, and then flat 3. And he's playing the bass note in the left hand as well. But just I couldn't get exactly every single voicing he was doing on the piano. It was just an example of where it didn't line up the greatest on guitar, but. These notes that I'm doing here are pretty much the closest I was able to get to translating it to the guitar. So from that whole dominant 7 part now we have... All right, and that last chord right there, if we look at that in relation to F7, right, he does a hammer on from the sharp 9 to the natural 3, and then this chord right here, G flat, C, F, it'd be flat 9, 5, and root. And then that E flat is just a flatted 7th of F, and then resolves down with the 3rd of the B flat on top. All right, so a ton of stuff going on. Let me do it slow a couple of times, and then I'll speed it up. right, so many great things going on in this lick. We talked about how over the C minor 7 flat 5 chord, he's doing a little bit of chromaticism at first, going from the flat 9 up to the flatted third, and then he's doing that E flat minor add 9 arpeggio over the C half diminished chord. And then we talked about that sweepy sort of thing, the chromaticism down from the from the 4 of the C minor 7 flat 5 chord down to the flatted third. Or alternatively, you can think of it as just B flat, blues scale. And then this great combination of these 2 note patterns that he's doing over the F7 chord as well. So a lot of great stuff to be gained from this. And Gerald Clayton is just such an exceptional piano player. I've been trying to find a lick of his to do for a while, but a lot of times, a lot of the stuff that he plays is so crazy and so specific to the piano, just in terms of a lot of the chord voicings that he's utilizing in his lines, or just the wide range within the piano parts that he plays when he's doing licks and stuff like that. But I'm glad that I was finally able to find one. I think this one is just so beautiful, and just is a great example of why I love Gerald Clayton's playing so much. Just such an interesting voice, and every solo of his that I hear, there's always just so many moments that catch my ear, and I'm just like, wow, that was really awesome. What was that? So that's pretty much the point of this series. Anytime I hear something that catches my ear that I can translate to the guitar and sort of break down and analyze, I try to do that. So that is our episode for this week. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. And as always, if you would like to donate and support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/MikeGaudetteMusic or paypal.me/MikeGaudetteMusic. That's our episode for this week. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the next episode. Take care.